Okay, this is fixing a slightly delaminating edge from the base of a Libtech Orca 150. It's upside down right now because I'm just making a way that I can shove some epoxy inside of that hole. You can see the fingernail-ish width, a little bit bigger than a fingernail, a gap there. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to use this C-clamp with a couple pieces of wood on either side to protect the base and the top sheet. I'm going to use a popsicle stick with some Gorilla Glue. As I like to do, I have my handy dandy old ski boot box, a pair of K2s, and I'm just going to mix it in. Maybe I'm going to do the top. Hard to say. Might be easier to pull out of there on the top. I think I might use the top of this to I'll mix a bit of the epoxy there. You just simple 2-part epoxy. You take the little cap thing off. That comes off. I've used this many times. It actually lasts quite well. And yeah, you just mix it. Get a nice dual squeeze that has, you gotta get them both coming out at the same time. And try and get the same amount. So that should be about enough. And then pull back on the tubes, the depressors in the actual syringe, and that way you can get the kind of the last of the material out of the top of it. So now you're just mixing it all up. Mix it up so you get nice even mixing. That's why it's important to have the same ratio of each fluid to the other, so that when it comes out and you're mixing, it's going to be the same. You want to mix this for 20 seconds as mentioned on the box.
Warning, it can get hot.
Yeah, can get hot underneath. If you like touch under here, there's an exothermic reaction, so it's creating heat from the combination of the chemicals, which is the epoxy starting to create itself. So, a few more seconds just to make sure we've got a good mix on. And then the next part is going to be bringing this over to the base and then shoving it in there. I'm going to start from the one side. And you're basically just shoving it in. And if you get a little bit of overage, I mean, this is all grindable after the fact, so you can kind of grind it off. The big thing we're trying to do is just shove it in there so it really goes into the crack. So it's on. Before it hardens, you have a good amount of ability to wipe this stuff up, so you can be a little reckless. And when we compress this, and I'm going to get a paper towel here quickly. So I just wiped it down a bit. Now I'm just putting my handy dandy pieces of wood here. This is the fun part, because now we'll get to see it squish out. You know what, I just want to make sure I get this right along the edge. That looks pretty good. And we're going to clean up our excess.
How long are you going to wait?
Okay, so we're going to wait 5 hours, pretty much like an overnight style time period. And And we'll show you the after effects. Hopefully it's nice and clean. Being overnight with the epoxy hardening, I'm gonna start taking the clamp off. So one is that, I can rub that off. But yeah, it looks like it's stuck pretty well. I don't see a hole in there. No way water can get in, which is really what we're looking for. It looks like it should work.